Today we're going to be talking about SEO for hair salons specifically, and I'm going to be diving into sharing strategies across internet marketing strategies that we're using today to be able to grow hair salons, organic traffic online. Now, hair salons in general, this is probably one of the biggest areas of growth. If you can dominate search, all the rest of your marketing becomes so much simpler. So what I mean by that is organic search with your Google business profile. Secondly, is your website specifically, and I'm diving into a few different types of strategies around this today. I'm going to share my screen and show you through the process. What I find is, if you think about it, there's over 4,410 searches in a specific area that I'm going to walk you through today. And this is a small area off the outskirts of Melbourne. And when there's 4,410 searches a month in just one area, imagine what it's like in yours. It's probably going to be quite similar if you're on the offskirts of a big city, or even if you're in a big city, it's going to be probably a lot more as well too. The biggest thing you got to look at when it comes to SEO, you are limited by the amount of searches that get done on a monthly basis, and then you can expand it via other types of strategies. So how I work out things like total addressable searches is I go across to something called the Google Ads keyword planner. So what I'm going to do on my side, I'm just going to go into the account and I'm going to share my screen with you and what you could do to figure out what your total addressable market is. Here I am in the Google Ads planner right now. And essentially what I do, so when you log in, you just go to tools and then keyword planner. Here you'll see discover new keywords. So here you could just go hair salon. I'm just going to use Melbourne, for example. And then you go hairdresser Melbourne. Now, when you think about it, there's a few different ways that someone will find you online. Number one will be the types of services you do, the types of questions that relate to the services you do, and then there's the physical type of business you are, which you're a hairdresser, hair salon, and someone might also say hairstylists Melbourne. Now, this will give you a really good idea. And then what I do is I just change Australia to specifically Melbourne. Oops. As you can see, 6.9 million people. You might want to reduce the area depending on where you're at and things like that. But this gives you a really good starting point. So as you can see, hair salon Melbourne gets 2,400 searches a month, and it's very low competition. So if you have a really good SEO strategy, you can actually rank it quite quickly in this area. And by quickly, 3 to 6 months, if you're really focused on it, you can actually do it. Next one's hairdresser Melbourne. That one gets 3,600 searches. Hairstylists Melbourne gets 3,600 as well. And then we've got things like services, like hair extensions Melbourne gets 2,400, keratin treatments Melbourne. So you put some of these into the side here, right? Keratin extensions Melbourne, you'd have that in terms of like services, so like treatments and things like that. But basically what we're looking for here is we're looking for these types of keywords which are going to relate to the type of business that we are. So when you go further down, you can see there's a lot of searches around Melbourne, but I'm covering the whole of Melbourne at the moment. So if you just broke it down to maybe a suburb, for example, you're going to see a very different result. See, if I just go hair salon, do that instead, you're now going to see here at 320 searches. But once again, it's still very low competition, right? Hairdresser Berwick gets 880. And then you've got these types of ones are generally other businesses. Now, we don't want beauty salon because that's going to bring in beauty type services, but Berwick hairdresser we could definitely use. Those ones we wouldn't use because they're other businesses, branded searches. I'll show you some other ways that we can talk about other branded searches and things like that later on in the session. But essentially, best hairdresser Berwick, haircut Berwick, that's more service-based, hairdresser Victoria. So we think about it here, 10, 50, 60, plus 880 is around 1480, plus 320. We're looking at just under 2,000 searches here a month. And I could go on here all the way through this and I could see a lot more, but that gives you a bit of a picture, right? So first thing we've got to think about is we've got to go, okay, total addressable market there for the salon services specifically, we're looking at about 2,000, and then you'd break it down by service. So if you do hair extensions, you would do hair extensions. If you do wefts, tape, clip, You do all three of those as well too. And then you go a level deeper, like you do coloring, blonde specialists, bleaching, the different types of hair treatments and scalp treatments that you do. If you do any sort of color correction, that sort of stuff. So you'd be diving deeper into all of those different types of words, and that'll give you like a total addressable search market. Okay. And if you prefer the written, you can go across to growsalon.com. I'll put a link below the video as well too, if you like to actually read through all of this as well too as you're going. Biggest thing here we're looking at is pretty much for most of you, from what I've experienced, is that hair salons are quite easy to rank for and very low competition. So if you can be very good in this area, you can just scoop up all the page one searches yourself, really scoop things up and grow your business, right, quite quickly. And then if you add things like paid ads and all that sort of stuff to it, it can just accelerate it, right? Things like PPC, all these words you're finding, you can run PPC, Google ads, Bing ads directly to these search terms, and they're great search terms to search for and use. So the biggest things is it increases your visibility and discoverability. That's what SEO does and helps you to do, helps you get found more online. It drives relevant traffic to your website. So if you run ads on Facebook, you could run it to everyone, Facebook and Instagram, and not everyone's looking for a service right now. But a lot of the searches like hair salon near me, hair salon services, hairstylist, hairdresser, Melbourne, all those ones that I went through before, all of those types of keywords, every single one of them are driving transactions as well too. And that's what you're looking for with your Google traffic, is to drive transactions, right? Which is appointments on the calendar, phone calls to the business, booking requests filled in online, people wanting information, booking consultations depending on the service as well too. That's what they're looking for, right? Then naturally, bigger things to all of this is it boosts credibility and trust. If you rank number one, people obviously think you're one of the best. So if you can rank number one on Google, or at least one, two, or three, there's lots of trust that gets inbuilt to that. And then people look at things like Google reviews and all those types of things from you. So these are areas that you really need to focus on in order to grow your business. And it's naturally, when you look at it, low competition. It's very low competition. So naturally your business, it's a lot more cost effective than running things like paid ads. You run your ads today, turn your ads off today, you got no visibility. But if you rank on Google, it's the lowest hanging fruit. It's going to be hard for someone to knock you off if you're really good at what you're doing, right? And if you want a specialist to do it, just reach out to us anytime. I'm happy to help. growsalon.com is where you go. So that's really big picture here. What we're looking for here and what we're wanting to do is expand that organic reach every single month. And if you want to, you can boost it using Google Ads and those other types of things, which does aid your ability to be able to show up on page one and increase your organic traffic. So first thing you want to think of, so obviously when you understand your total addressable market, you understand the types of keywords that you want to rank for, things like that. Then what you want to look at is you want to look at optimizing your website's content. So essentially what you would want to have is you'd want to have your homepage centered around particular words like hair salon Melbourne that I'm using for this particular example. So you'd want to have anything hairstylist, hairdresser, hair salon towards your homepage. You want to make sure you've at least got an about so people understand who you are, trust, credibility, who the stylist is that's going to be doing their hair, if they can tie faces to names, things like that. It's important. If you can get that across the homepage, also very important. Level deeper you want to look at is your hair services. So you do color correction. Do you do half head of foils, full head of foils? Do you do creative color? Do you do all over the color as attached to that? Are you doing, I think it said hair extensions, but hair extensions, are you doing that? What's the type of services that you're doing? And you want to have, for best user experience, ideally you want to have a page towards each service. So when you go and you do your research and you look at all the different phrases and terms that someone's going to be using, you understand your total addressable market for each of those particular services. You would then create a specific page for each of those services. And to give you an idea, hair extensions would be one, weft would be a single one, tape, clip would all be separate ones. Coloring would be separate ones. You'd be separating each of the pages so that you can remain relevant. So when someone searches for weft hair extensions, they see you rank number one, they click on you, it takes them to a page that talks about weft hair extensions. They don't want to have to search past clip and tape and color services and all these types of things just to find what they're after. You want to just hit them with what they searched for specifically each and every time. And that way you'll get things to convert a lot better. You'd even separate things like balayage as well too, cut, restyle, all over color, that type of stuff. Segregate your website in a way that makes it really easy for someone to go and do what you want them to do, which is to book an appointment, call you, and at least book a consultation, worst case scenario. So you want to have all of those options there. Level deeper, you want to look at things at least having a blog. Some people still ask the difference. What the difference is between weft and tape extensions. What's the difference between all over color and half header foils, full header foils? People are asking all different types of color, like questions around services. What is balayage? So you want to be having things like this through your website on a blog piece to explain to every single person what it is that you do. The more content you produce, it's the same as social media. The more regular you are and the more relevant you are, and the better hooks and things like that you got, the better it actually goes. So you want to be implementing this into your business as well. Deeper, then you want to be looking at, once it's all set up correctly, you're just looking at things like ongoing SEO. So you're looking at building backlinks from high authority websites. Fresher gives you a full marketplace that you can use, and that full marketplace as well too gives you access to everyone who jumps on their website, uses it, and looks for specific types of services. So you can use websites very similar to Fresher to acquire clients. What this also does is it creates something called referral traffic. Backlinks aren't only business listing websites like Fresher and marketplaces, but it's also other websites as well too. There might be other companies that do hair or talk about hair or beauty blogs and different things like that as well too. And essentially, all of those businesses, you could be getting yourself put onto those websites. I'll give you an example back in the Melbourne area. So this is the blog, right? I've actually got screenshots and everything here to show you, but I want to walk you through the process too. So if I go, what's the best hair salon in Melbourne? What has a tendency to happen is there's websites that talk about hair salons in Melbourne, the best ones. Now I'm actually on Bing this time because that's where Microsoft computers have a tendency to go. So you'll see one here, the 7 best salons in Melbourne by Marie Claire Australia. So they're ranking #1 here for this. You've got timeout.com, you've got Fashion Journal as well too. You've got a few YouTube videos. So in these cases, you could totally get some influencers to do some work for you and create videos aligned very similar to all of these as well too. And you can hijack the traffic as well too. Just use exactly what it is that they've used. So what we can do is we can go grab this link, for example. So I'll just go copy. And then what I'll do is I'll just go back to here and I'll go Marie Claire Contact Australia. And what will happen is generally there'll be a contact form that comes up for Marie Claire. Marie Claire, there we go. And what I can now do is I can grab an email, PR@FutureNet. There's probably other ones here as I go through. But essentially what I'm doing there is I've now got the contact details of a business that ranks #1, a website that ranks #1 and lists the best salons in the local area. And I'm going to show you one other thing with this as well too. And this is what happens all the time that a lot of people do not realize. When you click on here, there's businesses that have been listed. And now to the general consumer is going to say, oh, okay, St. Louis, Melbourne, they must be the best. Fantastic, great. So they're going to go, I'm going to go to the best one in Melbourne. Reality is they probably paid Marie Claire to go to that spot, right? This person probably did as well too. This person probably did as well too. They all probably paid Marie Claire just to be in this particular search or this particular article, named as the best salon in Melbourne. And I know these guys, they're across a few of the other ones as well too, because I've done a lot of the research as well. What we're looking for here is we're looking to get in. So what you can actually do, and this can be done for any city across the world, I can send an email straight off to that person. I can call the office. I can speak to someone there. I could stalk someone that works on LinkedIn. with Marie Claire Australia, and I could just reach out to them and say, hey, I noticed you guys wrote a blog on the 7 best salons in Melbourne. What's it cost to get me in on? And for bigger websites, it could be $1,000 to get you onto it. Some of them will put you on it for free, right? And all you got to do is just say that you've been featured by that business as well too on your website. Some it might cost you $100, some might cost you $20 a month, $30 a month. It'll change from one business to the next. But that type of PR, if you think about it, like Marie Claire, for example, probably gets thousands and thousands and not millions of visitors per month. I don't know. It's definitely in the millions. It'd have to be Marie Claire, but who knows? I haven't looked into it. But either way, you get onto that website, you get features, you're going to get a lot of referral traffic from businesses like that. And if people come to those articles, they see you there, they see that you're the best in that area, they want to get serviced by the one that's best. So it's a good way to hijack the traffic. And even if it did cost you, say, $1,000 or $2,000, you'd get that back in bookings over the next 2 to 3 years of being on that particular website, right? It might be 2 clients, 3 clients, 4 clients, 5 clients, depending on the price of it, and you've got your money back, plus a heap of PR, plus additional visibility now as a result of doing it, right? So it's a really good way, like, especially there's lots of them that do it for free. So looking at backlinking opportunities like that, back opportunities can also be done through like Facebook profiles and different things like that as well too, which if you're running a lot of paid ads and different things like that as well too, I'll just show you some things that you can do in order to give yourself some additional backlinks. If you think about it, you want every time someone searches for you as a business, you want to at least have a link to your website somewhere so someone can go and book or check out what you do. So like you can put them here, you can put them here as well. You can put them in your bios, right? There's in your abouts. You can put them basically anywhere that you want, essentially. You can add services, go nuts, add it literally. Like if you got Facebook groups and different things like that as well too that you own, you can put them in the about sections. Whenever you post about it, you can also put the website. You can put it at the bottom of any posts that you do too when you do longer form posts. Learn more and by checking out www.myhairsalon.com. And these are all backlinking things that you can do. You can even places like Pinterest, for example. Pinterest, you can post directly on there, link it back to your website. You have it in your bio. It's essentially having it as many places as possible. And this is just social signals are a very big thing when it comes to SEO as well too, right? So especially if you're looking to get your visibility out there and get in front of more people like you are because you're watching this video, right? Backlinking opportunities are huge. A level deeper when we talk about local SEO and getting yourself put out there a lot more is your Google business listing. Obviously, everyone will tell you that reviews are a big thing. Obviously, yes, the more reviews you have, the better it is. But it's also those listings like Fresher that makes a big difference. Any other business listings where you place your business's details on it, either in your local country, preferably. And if you're a .com domain, it'd be great if it's a .com domain. If it's a .com.au, if you're in Australia, that's great as well too. Other businesses that talk about beauty and things like that, the more you can pay to get into these listings and directories, the better. Some of them will charge you. A lot of them, at least 90% of them, will be free most of the time. So you can get yourself put in there. That makes a big difference with your Google business profile. And also on your contact page of your website, you can put at the bottom your location, which also then matches back to your Google listing. So it's always making sure that the name, the address, the contact numbers, email addresses, all that sort of stuff are the same across every single place that you're found or spoken about on the internet. Level deeper with the Google business profile, it's about how you're about and everything's written and the services that are mentioned in it. There's sections on the back end of your Google business profile that you can put locations you service, as well as services that you do as well too. So you can note all of that down. You just got to go into your Google business profile back end, which is usually easily done by just searching for your business on Google. It'll pop up. Click the 3 dots on the side and then just go into the settings and start making some changes. And then also posting directly onto it as well. In Google Maps on most devices, there's a section called Explore. And that's if you post in there, that's where you can start to be seen as well too, is on Google Maps Mobile. It doesn't get huge amounts of views, but when it does, that's how I've bought services. I actually bought services from the Explore section there from businesses. It's a good way to jump in, check out reviews, and then also see what's been posted by the business as well as what shows up in the Explore section if you're looking for services around your local area and seeing what's going on. So key ways for you to be able to increase the search volume for the business and also increase the amount of traffic that comes to your website. Only other things is just natural, normal things as well too, which are a little bit more technical to talk about on video. Things like leveraging like local schema markup, making sure that every image on your website has an explanation on it. It's got keywords and things like that mentioned through it, so it shows up on Google search as well too. Creating a sitemap. I've got videos on that as well too, or sorry, articles on that on our website as well too that you can check out. Obviously, making sure you get as many reviews as you possibly can as well too. But I think the biggest opportunity for hair salons in 2025 is really ranking organically. There's not any other industries out there that every single search term, pretty much almost every single search term is low competition. I've never seen it so much in an industry. I come from an industry myself where everything like is on God mode. Everyone understands SEO. Everyone understands how to rank higher and all these types of things. To rank is very hard. You've either got to do more than the other people are able to do, or you've got to know those tiny little hacks that make a huge difference. And it's a lot of these things that work really well for hair salons as well too, that you'll never get someone to outrank you if you understand and can do these things as well too. But the biggest bonus that you have at a hair salon as well too is literally for the fact that when you start to get two, three, four, 500, 800 people to your site, it'll just feed your paid advertising campaigns that you run as well too, because everything in marketing should be connected in some way, shape, or form. If I get people to my site, I should then remarket to them on several different platforms, on external Google, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok if you want to, on LinkedIn if you want to. It should be whatever marketing activities you're running, it should be done with some form of connection. Even when you run email marketing and people comes across to your website to check out blogs or content pieces you've done, or they come back to book again, but they haven't, they should also be coming back into remarketing campaigns. So everything should be connected in some way, shape, or form. If you would like some help with your hair salon's SEO in any way, shape, or form, just go across to growsalon.com, apply for a free marketing plan there, completely free. We'll run through everything that you need to be doing and where you need to be focusing on, customized towards your hair salon. So there's no fluff. You walk away with a full video recording, which can be up to 90 to 120 minutes. And you'll have a full document explaining everything that you need to do. And there's no strings attached. It's valued at $1,500, completely free. All you got to do is just go to growsalon.com and book it today. Speak to you on the next video. Cheers.